How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to our channel. Today we are finally going to do the Wano Q&A. There are a lot of questions that have been submitted through Patreon and YouTube. We will do our best to try to get through as many as possible.
And as always, if you would like to help support our channel, our Patreon link is down in the description below. You'll get early access to all the videos that we post onto our YouTube channel. You get full and great reactions to all the videos that we post onto this YouTube channel. So if you're interested in those, make sure to check it out. Now on to your questions. Yukima Show.
First question by Blaze Boy, the Blaze God, okay? In the spin-off data book, Oda revealed that 26 years ago, Queen abandoned his 10-year-old son to join the Beast Pirates. We learned in Water 7 that when Frankie was 10, he was abandoned by his pirate parents. Is it a coincidence they have similar personalities and didn't get to meet on Wano?
Oh shit, so they're potentially related?
Or potentially Queen is
The father?
Don't they have different color hair? He's blue.
Yeah. I think character design wise, I don't see it. I feel like it might just be a coincidence. I didn't even know that Queen had a son.
Probably not. Frankie just likes cola. I don't even know what he likes to eat. He doesn't even like to eat, does he? Yeah, like food-wise. Not really.
There's not. I feel like just character design.
Character design,
not
really. Like personality, like Frankie and them kind of like to dance. Does Frankie like to dance even? He just likes to pose and stuff.
Yeah.
Not really.
They're kind of goofy, but I feel like a lot of characters are goofy. So I don't really see similarities.
Next question is Philippe Vieira. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. What do you think is the relation of Joy Boy, Nika, and Luffy?
That's a hard one. Do you think there is any relation?
Nika's the sun god, so that's the fruit. Joy Boy is the character, so I'm just assuming that Joy Boy and Luffy are connected through Nika.
That's what I think too. Like, in order for the parallels to happen, you have to have eaten the Nika fruit. I feel like. And
your personality should be the same since they're both like embodying the sun god.
That's true. And then, do you think Joy Boy is the role? Like Joy Boy is referring to the role, or is Joy Boy the actual name? Because then I would assume they should have some kind of like D character in their name. Joy Boy, but then they don't mention that, right? So I feel like Joy Boy maybe is the title for that person rather than their actual name.
Like a nickname?
Could it potentially be one of those secret names they were talking about before?
Like Law's Water?
Like Law's Water. I don't know.
Joy Boy?
Yeah, Joy or something.
Maybe, yeah. Could be a nickname.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like it's an actual name of a person, more like a role.
Yeah, unless we go to the end and the letter at Laugh-Tale is signed off with the D. Joy Boy D something.
Next question is by Pigeon Squad. Love your reactions, guys. Can't believe you made it so far into the series. Thank you so much for watching. Not really a loaded question, but did you guys notice Sanji's eyebrows when he started to awaken his Germa powers? Just wanted to hear your thoughts and reaction. Honestly, I missed it.
I missed it too.
It's just so not distinct when it changes. Like, even I think when they first revealed his hair switching on the other side from time skip, the difference is so subtle for me. I didn't really notice it.
Yeah, I think that episode is way too hype with the theme and everything going on.
Yeah.
Alright, next question is from Sean Beyond. What are you most excited to possibly see happen or get answered since this is the final stages of the story?
I think for me, it would just be once everything makes sense. Like everything comes into one piece.
One piece. When you find the one piece. Yeah, I think all the questions that potentially were brought up before get slowly revealed towards the end, and having that answered would be really nice. Slowly. I kind of want them to like information drop, you know, there's still that like shock.
Yeah, but for like more specifics, I think origins of Devil Fruits, the D Kingdom, like what happened to them and why Imu decided to annihilate them, and then how Imu pulled off this crazy scheme. So I think those are the answers I want the most, but I feel like everybody wants those.
Yeah. And then potentially what is One Piece? Like, maybe are we ever gonna get an answer? What is the funny story?
And what is Luffy's dream?
Luffy's dream as well. Like, how are they gonna connect everything here?
Next question is by Side Pair. We've seen some insane animation this arc. What are your favorite animation moments, and what are those moments that you think are too over animated? Did you enjoy the current animation changes of Wano?
I actually enjoyed the animation changes in Wano. It was definitely way more like high production than before, but I don't know, it's because One Piece finally like caught into like modern times. Is that's why like Wano was animated like this. But definitely the fights for the individuals, the animation there were pretty sick with the impact frames and everything. And then, but I think one thing is when Luffy was fighting Kaido and they made it so epic, but there's constantly just them just beating each other, you know, like super drawn out fights that kind of like takes away from the animation.
Yeah. So I want to say I did really enjoy the animation for Wano and like the changes from this arc compared to previous ones, but like I kind of wish for the more epic scenes they would save like all the crazy effects and things for like, for example, the final blow or something like that, or where it's like really adding to the hype. Because I feel like there were a lot of scenes where the animation was obviously super sick, but it's just like you can only be hyped for so many episodes, I feel like. Like Jackie mentions, the fight between Luffy and Kaido, and it's just he's throwing out all these crazy punches at each other, but the animation is like really over the top, I feel. So then by the time it's actually the final blow, it's kind of hard to gauge like, was that his like actual final attack, you know, like
did it count?
In terms of hype or like the moment. I kind of wish there was a little bit more build up for that. And like I think because of like the crazy animation that they did this arc versus like previous ones, for example, even with the fight between Roger and Whitebeard, I think it was, when they finally clash, a lot of people were kind of upset with our reaction to it. But I feel like the animation for that, in contrast to Wano, like the Wano fights were so much more flashy and sparking, right? So when we actually saw the Roger and Whitebeard clash, it didn't feel like it's something we've never seen before. Like I was kind of waiting for that moment to be something that we've never seen before so far in the show, but because we've kind of already saw it so much, that style in Wano, I feel like it took a little bit away from those more epic moments.
I think we kind of expected the clash to kind of go that way too, so it was like nothing that we really was new information that they clashed.
Yeah. But I did really like the impact frames. Like that was super cool. A really nice addition. But honestly, I think we forgot to go back to all of them when we were watching.
Yeah.
Because it just happened so quickly.
Like so much is going on that you kind of forget. Straw Hat Nick 56 asks, out of all the characters that we met, who do you think is the most likely candidate to be the final crew member? Vivi, Bon Clay, Kinemon, Carrot, Yamato, someone else, or do you think this is our final crew? Did they ever say there was like a limit that they want? I remember Luffy mentioning early in the beginning like he wanted a musician, a cook, and all this other stuff, but like
I don't think
he didn't set a number, right?
Yeah. Wanna say that the current crew is the final one, just because we've already went so far that I feel if another person joins now, it would feel like they aren't part of the crew as much as everybody else.
Because they joined very late, right?
Because they would have joined so late. Because at this point, it's like we've already defeated Yonko. Luffy has secured title now as one of the emperors. So it would kind of suck if they join now, because it's like you missed out on everything before, right? I feel like they're all honorary members,
Yeah.
but not going to join officially.
Uh-huh.
I was kind of hoping Yamato would have joined at the end of Wano because that would have been a really good time since she was involved with everything in Wano as well and the final fight with Kaido, but she didn't end up joining. So I feel like the crew right now is the final one.
Mm-hmm. My answer would be similar to yours too.
Next question, Vicky asks, how strong do you think Luffy is currently compared to the rest of the world?
Rest of the world, damn. He's probably, I was gonna say on par with the Yonkos, but Shanks is probably number one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shanks is number one. And then Buggy's probably fourth. Yeah. And then we'll have Luffy and Blackbeard kind of tied.
What about in compared to like admirals?
Admirals?
Because the whole world.
Maybe they're equal, but we're talking about like the strongest, right? So maybe the admirals, maybe Luffy is equal to them now. Like he's the emperor of the sea. Like all Shanks need to do is flex some haki, and the admirals don't want to fight him. So
that's true.
So maybe in that sense, the admirals will kind of like be even against him. Mihawk, Crocodile already lost once already. Mihawk's pretty strong. He spars with Shanks and beats him in sword fights. So
that's true.
Mihawk should be really strong. So
you think there's still Shanks and Mihawk and potentially some admirals that are stronger than Luffy?
Yeah, kind of like it's gonna have to test him.
Yeah, I would agree. I think for admirals it's hard to tell, but I want to believe it's like somewhat tied. Like he could beat some admirals, but then maybe lose to some. And then definitely Mihawk and Shanks, I feel like, are still stronger than him, but I don't know. Because he has like the Gear 5 unlocked now.
True, he's free now, so I don't know how much does the ridiculous power would help him here.
But then because Shanks and Mihawk, I'm gonna assume, have crazy haki, would they be able to do something to like cancel out his Gear 5?
Would they beat Luffy's haki, man?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Miho1107 asks, do you think Buggy will get to Laugh Tale before Luffy with all his luck? Also, would you be able to perhaps look at the One Piece SBS 105? There's some Zoro lore there. Answer to be a Q&A.
Okay, the SBS, don't worry, we are going to go back to it hopefully after we're caught up to everything. But Buggy going to Laugh Tale before Luffy.
He's a lucky guy, but Luffy's also lucky.
He is lucky. I don't want to say yes or no. Because I could see it happening, but at the same time, I also don't want that for Luffy.
Could you imagine the whole time we're following Luffy's story and that he just gets
chaos
by Buggy? Like you said, yes and no, but I think the chances of Buggy actually getting to Laugh Tale first, he would somehow need to secure the red poneglyphs, which he has none.
Yeah,
the
but
world
he has the
poneglyphs.
influence. Is that how he's doing it?
I don't know how he would even do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say no. I could see the possibility happening, and I'm not sure how he would achieve it, like you said, because he hasn't done anything so far to get there. I could still see it happening, but I want to say no.
Marita Larasati asks, what do you think about Pluton? Maybe it looks like what?
What does it look like? Okay. I never imagined what it looked like. I kind of just thought it would look like a regular brown ship. Like kind of like the Noah that they had at the Ryukyu Kingdom. I kind of just imagined that, right?
Could be something like that. But equipped with weapons. Because it's an ancient weapon.
So I didn't really imagine anything special about it, to be honest.
Maybe a really big one. Maybe the size of Noah. Something really massive. Something that could carry a lot of people and be very destructive.
Nav asks, as we saw Shanks saying to Beck that it's time to acquire the One Piece, what are your thoughts on that scene, since it shouldn't be a coincidence that right after Luffy had awakened Nika form, Shanks wants to go acquire it now? I just think it's a little suspicious, haha, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. It's hella suspicious.
That is very suspicious.
And the fact that he's the one that brought the devil fruit
to Luffy.
I don't know if Luffy eating it was part of his plan, but the fact that he had it and it was just kind of out, and then Luffy happened to eat it, it's like, what were you planning to do with that fruit? He knew something about it.
Why did he even bring it onto the island? You know what I mean? Like, you brought it onto the island. It wasn't meant for Luffy to be to be the one who eats it, but then it's also like unlocked. Like he was just admiring it or something. It's like, I did good the other night.
Exactly. It's such a crazy fruit. Why is there no security around it, right?
And there's no way he doesn't know. He's the one who took it.
Yeah, he went out and seeked it out. So I almost feel like the One Piece has something to do with the Nika fruit itself. Maybe it has to be the Nika fruit user that unlocks something for that One Piece, or like...
You think he knows more?
Yeah, I feel like he knows more.
I'm very curious how he finds all this information, if he didn't actually go to Laugh Tale. The scene with Shanks going to the Five Elders and talking about someone, like, was that just Nika? Referring to Luffy and Nika coming back? Or is it... What could he potentially be talking there? Like, all these scenes that just don't make him seem like he's doing something good.
Wait, what? So you're suspecting that he's an enemy? No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, no. Let's just move on. Move on.
Okay. Kirei asks, after seeing Oden King and a glimpse of Shanks, how strong do you think the world's strongest swordsman is? People speculate he could be stronger than Roger due to him being the only swordsman with a black blade, aside from Ryuma, the god of blade. Any speculations on how he got his title and who he defeated, knowing all the great swordsmen that we come across or heard about in this series? There's only 2 others who have had the world's strongest title, and they're both gone. One left standing, which is Mihawk. How strong is Mihawk?
What the heck, when you bring it up like that? Because before we were kind of wondering, how can Mihawk have the world's strongest swordsman title without going to Wano, where Wano is known for their swordsmen, right?
True.
And now you're bringing up Ryoma. Now you're making me suspect, like, did they fight? No, that's not possible, because Ryoma would have passed away a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
So who could he have
Defeated to take it?
Even take
you think it's
title?
self-proclaimed? Mihawk here is just saying, I'm the strongest swordsman? So then he just took the title himself? They actually never mentioned who was the previous strongest swordsman. We just know at Ryuma's time, he was like the god of blade, but that's like so long ago. Like, it doesn't really make sense. Who was just previously Mihawk, strongest swordsman? Would it be Roger? Was he a strong swordsman? He uses a sword. Does that count though? I don't think he sees himself as a swordsman though.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It was another funny thing is when Mihawk's the strongest swordsman and then Whitebeard was the strongest man.
Who's stronger? The strongest man or the strongest swordsman?
And then on top of that, what about like Kaido? 1v1, bet on Kaido. Like, he's not a swordsman at all, but he's technically one of the strongest too. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of strongest titles. Like, we don't know where they stand. But yeah, who would he have defeated? That means it would have to be someone
some swordsman
in this era that's still alive, because he had to
or he
fight
killed
them. Okay, fine. He killed them?
Killed them.
Could be someone in like Rock's Pirate
A swords
or something
person?
like that. Yeah, maybe a swordsman in the Rock's Pirate, because they disbanded and then they would have been probably as strong as like Kaido or Big Mom or someone like that.
That could be.
Yeah.
Because the Rocks Pirate were pretty well known back then.
That's the only person that I can think of that's like influential. Because otherwise it would just be some random swordsman. But I feel like being a part of the Rocks Pirates would make more sense.
Can we say that Mihawk is stronger than Shanks?
Why?
Doesn't Mihawk beat him in a sword fight? But if it's a sword fight, all Shanks can do is a sword. Like, what is he gonna do? He only has one arm. Like, his haki beats Mihawk's haki.
That's true.
But technically, didn't they say somewhere in a sword, like, he can't beat him in a sword fight? Like, Shanks can't beat Mihawk in a sword fight? They like friends?
That's true, but Shanks has only been shown to fight with a sword.
With a sword. So or not using a sword, or just haki in general. So, Shanks' haki could beat Mihawk's, but Mihawk's swordplay beats Shanks.
Maybe, yeah. It could be
Something
probably
like that.
pretty equal fight, maybe.
Yeah.
Next question, Gigi asks, do you have any guesses who is the guy with a burn scar Kid is referring to?
Nope. I don't think we usually see characters with a burn scar. I feel like if we saw someone with a burn scar, we would notice it or remember.
Yeah. I can't really recall, but the only person I can think of is Sabo.
Sabo does have.
He has like a burn mark or something, doesn't he?
That's the explosion or the fire from the boat.
Yeah, that's like
technically,
a scar.
Maybe. Could it be?
Based on just the description, that's the only person I can think of that actually has like the scar on their face.
That's true.
But
Sabo does come to mind.
I don't know.
But it doesn't
who
make any
else.
sense.
Yeah, like why would he be searching out
The Revolutionary
Sabo?
Army has the last roll poneglyph. No, that.
Potentially, could they?
No, I don't think they would.
No, actually, because weren't we kind of suspecting that as well? Because in the Ryukyu Kingdom, that's the one that they took, right? That's where the missing one is.
Yeah.
So we were suspicious why Neptune didn't make any comments regarding the red poneglyph missing while the Straw Hats were visiting.
True.
So we assumed that it had to be in good hands, someone that you could trust or rely on. Wouldn't that be someone like the Revolutionary Army? Because if it was any other pirate, I feel like they probably
would have
mentioned something and said, hey, so-and-so took the red poneglyph from us or whatever it is. Unless he just like had no idea it was stolen. But again, if he had no idea, he should have at least brought it up and said, someone stole it.
He should have.
But
so
the fact that he doesn't say anything makes me feel like, oh, it's in safe hands.
No, I agree with you on the safe hands part, but Revolutionary Army having it kind of never talk about it, so.
Whitebeard mentioned that once the One Piece is found, there's going to be this war that shakes up the world or whatever it is, right? So, and the Revolutionary Army is planning a war, so I don't know, like, do they know something about the One Piece as well, and then they're kind of saving that last piece in order to be prepared for something?
I feel like they would team up, but I don't know where the last one would be. Chris asks, do you anticipate any other Straw Hats displaying haki or improving the haki they already have in the upcoming arc?
Oh, okay. Usopp for sure. I don't know when, but once we get into Elbaf, I just have a feeling, because he's already shown he has like observation and he's supposed to be like sniper, right? So I definitely feel like his observation will develop
even more than has.
Yeah, because so far it hasn't really been shown that he's actively using it. He's kind of just
to fight. He only uses it when he's like, he doesn't even, when danger's coming. Like he just subconsciously, he's just like, oh no, something's happening.
Yeah. But also, he doesn't even know that he's using it. That's the thing,
true.
right? Like, he just has, like, this feeling, or he senses things more than other people, but he's not actively trying to use it. I think that's the issue. So I think he will develop maybe the skill to, like, now actively seek out the enemies or something. Kind of maybe similar to Rayleigh when he was, like, training Luffy. He just immediately is able to sense like a bunch of different people and where they are on the island or how many people there are, something like that would be cool.
Definitely see Usopp improving before he gets to Elbaf.
Yeah. And then do you think Nami or
Nami has Zeus though.
Robin?
Does she really need haki?
True.
She can do damage to Luffy. Technically she has some sort of haki. Robin maybe? Robin has the fishman karate.
I think Zoro maybe, because they also showed that he has the Conquerors actually during Wano.
Yeah, but can he get more though?
So
what do you think they'll like?
Maybe developing on that more. Like he would be able to utilize it more, because that was the first time they showed him using it.
Yeah, that was. What was Sanji?
And then
can Sanji get Conquerors too? Is he born to lead?
Yeah, that's one thing I'm thinking about now, because Zoro they showed Zoro having Conquerors, and that kind of feels a little bit unfair if Sanji doesn't, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like he has always been shown to be a little bit more behind though than Zoro and Luffy for the haki advancement. like he's always shown to utilize it after Zoro and Luffy has shown to use it.
They powered him up with his like Germa blood, so I don't know if they're gonna give him more haki now.
Mm-hmm.
Because his lady senses, that observation is pretty crazy.
That's true. Maybe like more development on observation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Millen Murphy asks, how do you both feel about Sanji's new power-up, red versus blue, and how does it feel to see he's accepted himself as Zeph and Judge's son?
I like his power up. I miss his suit though. Like honestly, I wouldn't have mind if he every time he needs to transform into a suit to fight, because the theme song and everything was like awesome. But yeah, it's kind of like a bittersweet. He kind of had to like accept that he is Judge's son, but his real dad will always be Zeph.
Yeah, I think it was nice because he's like, he finally has closure and has accepted it and not just like denying that part of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Despite him not having a good relationship with Judge, he accepts that Judge is like his blood related father, but Zeph will always be his like real father in his heart. So it's good to see him getting that closure and accepting it. But the red versus blue was so fucking hype. You could tell from our screaming. We were not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what other new moves he will have now because like of this power up.
True.
Because he probably wouldn't be using the same ones anymore, right? It's like more powerful now. Like either the animation or the names of the moves will change, like because the scale of it should be more.
Yeah. I hope they bring back the blue. It's just like it's hotter now. You know? Like it'd be crazy if that was just like an animation choice or something. Next question, John asks, which of Luffy's gears are your favorites? And can you rank them?
Oh my god, that's so hard.
Goodness. Are you gonna do 5th gear first?
Okay, gear 5 has to be my favorite. Come on.
Okay, gear 5th first.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have to put second gear 2.
Gear 2, the pink one?
Yeah, the pink iconic gear 2. Because he just beat Bluno. Like, it was so good. It was just like a power up. Would you say it's gear 2 for you?
For me, the second one has to be gear 4.
Gear 4. You like gear 4?
I like gear 4.
Okay.
Because it was so, like, unexpected.
It is, yes.
Yeah, and, like, the vibe of it was so fun. So, for me, it's gear 5, then gear 4.
Alright.
Then my third one would be gear 2.
I would put gear 4 under gear 2. So my third would be gear 4.
Yeah, okay.
And then probably gear 3 last.
Gear 3 last for me too. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't really he used it, but he like got smaller, but then he eventually got a power up and then he stopped shrinking.
Yeah.
So
I think it's not a big change compared to the other gears, right? Yeah. Catherine asks, in this arc, some people mentioned about the sun or the dawn, and it turns out Luffy's devil fruit is sun god Nika. If you noticed, people that Luffy encounter in his adventure have connections with the sun. For example, there's sun symbols in the middle of Kozuki Crest. Mink tribe always brings up the dawn or new world. Sun symbol in Alabasta flag. Sun pirates, giants worshipping the sun god, and Shandora people and culture design based on Aztec mythology tied with the sun god. The question is, what's your thoughts about their purpose about to bring the dawn and the importance of the sun for these people? Do you think it's something to do with the lost history we don't know about?
Yeah, there has been a lot of references. But could it be as simple as like the dawn is just like the sun's coming up, so darkness is going away, so we're all like there's hope, new beginning, kind of like an end of like a dark era kind of thing? Could it be in simple terms like that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think too deeply about it, and especially because of the reveal with Luffy's devil fruit being Sun God Nika, I feel like it just made sense, right?
Yeah.
Because he's bringing joy to, like you said, a dark era. Dawn is kind of referring to when the sun comes and brings light to everybody again, which is in turn what Nika is doing, because they're supposed to be freeing the slaves and bringing joy to everybody, right? So I think it for me, it's like just as simple as that. Like, that's what the sun god Nika character is supposed to represent, which is just being the light for a lot of people.
I think it would have been more confusing if they didn't reveal that Luffy was the sun god Nika. Then it would be like, hey, why are they kind of bringing it up all the time? But I think because they brought that up, then it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Julian asked, how disappointed were you when you didn't get to know more about Zoro's lineage in the land of samurai? How satisfied are you with his character growth and development in comparison to what we got for Sanji in his arc? What was your expectations on the hype around the samurais of Wano prior to the arc, and how much did your expectations got matched after the arc is finished?
Honestly, I am so disappointed that we didn't get more of Zoro's backstory. I think even if it wasn't as complicated, like his relationship with his family, it would have just been nice to see what his lineage was, like who his family was, or just some development on where he came from, because even when things were revealed, we were very confused as like who actually was related to him. Like we had to piece all of that together ourselves, right? And I think even with the reveal like Ushimaru Shinotsuki, we were like so confused, like how does he relate to Zoro? Because we know they're related, but at the same time it's not really clear, so we have to kind of figure that out ourselves. But I don't know, maybe we're just slow and other people got it like immediately, but it was not so clear on the first watch. Like we had to actually sit down and like figure out how is he related to Zoro kind of thing. It almost feels like this wasn't really his arc because we didn't get any information regarding his family, because I feel so far we've gotten backstories now for almost all the characters. We at least know like who they grew up with, or like who their families were and things like that. But with Zoro, we still know anything still, I feel like.
Land of Samurai, but we didn't get much. We got him like as a kid training and with the old man, the swordsmith, but that was pretty much it. Like we didn't really get more.
There's still a lot of mystery for his character, but I'm also wondering maybe they're saving it actually for another time, because we do know that his village is kind of involved with the revolutionary army. So it's not like it's the last time we're gonna hear about the Shimotsuki family, so maybe that's when they will reveal more about those relations.
Yeah, that could be. We got a lot of Zoro fan service and like Zoro moments in Milano Wano to pop off. Those were nice. I thought he was gonna get with Hiyori though. Like I thought they might develop something.
I think you were just hoping for that. He didn't show any interest in her, but it was like you wanted to root for them just for her sake.
Yeah.
And honestly, the samurai were quite disappointing for me. I don't know, is it because our crew has just climbed so much higher, but there was kind of a lot of hype around the samurai in Wano, like having Akainu and the admirals talk about them, and like Garp mentioning the land of samurai during these conversations where they're talking about these really strong swordsmen and samurai, and when we show up, I'm just like, where are they?
It's already been defeated by Kaido. Yeah, that's the problem there. Like Kaido kind of ruined the land of samurai for us.
Yeah,
it's more about the beast pirates.
Yeah.
Samurai.
Yeah, like I said, maybe because the scale of Wano versus Kaido crew, the difference was so vast, it made it feel like the samurai were not anything special. But again, I don't really feel like they really showed that they were doing anything. But at the same time, because Kaido was reigning over the land for such a long time, I think we can say maybe they just were not at their 100%, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because they would have been like low morale, low food,
everything
hadn't been training. Yeah, so I want to think that because Kaido was reigning over them, they were not at their full power.
Maybe if Oden was able to like get rid of Kaido from the beginning, then it would be a different story.
I think also the morale plays a huge role too, right? Like, Kaido was reigning over it for like, 20 years? Yeah. So during those 20 years, imagine, like, for example, if someone like Oden was in charge and like a strong samurai, then it kind of gives morale and motivation for all the samurai to be training and upkeeping their skills, right? But because Kaido was the one there, everything was so much more different than what we were expecting. Hopefully Momonosuke will bring them back up to their prime.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Just Rojo asked, now that we know that Luffy's devil fruit is bigger news than being a Yonko, honestly. Crazy power up. How do you guys imagine the fight with Luffy versus Blackbeard? Blackbeard's devil fruit is to negate devil fruit powers and using the gravity to pull people towards you. And now he's also got old man Whitebeard's tremor power. Do you think Luffy can take him as powerful as he is now or now? And this is a second follow-up question to this. Do you think that the Straw Hat crew can take down the Blackbeard crew? Oh. I want to say we would be able to.
I think
for
so
the
too.
crew.
Yeah,
just
crew-wise.
because of the teamwork in ours versus Blackbeard. Because in Blackbeard's crew, although they, I would say, more stronger individuals, but as a team, I don't know, because they are all motivated by self-interest versus our crew is more like a team-oriented goals, right?
Yeah.
So I want to believe in that sense we would be able to defeat them.
I agree with you with that.
But Blackbeard versus Luffy.
Can Blackbeard's devil fruit negate Zoan? Like he grabs you, you just change back to your human form? We've actually never seen him like fight a Zoan. Like how would that work?
That's true. Because it negates
Devil fruit powers.
They
like,
shown to negate Logia.
Yeah, Ace
and
couldn't
I think
use it.
Paramecia too. But you make a good point with the Zoan, because if you're already transformed into one form, would he be able to cancel it?
Yeah.
And then you change back to just like your regular form?
But yeah, does his fruit negating apply to everyone?
To all the devil fruits.
All the devil
equally.
fruits.
Let's say we assume that it does. What do you think? Because it's not shown that it doesn't. It's only shown that it does negate.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe we can assume that
That
it
it
does.
does? Okay,
negate.
yeah. Sure. How would Luffy fight then? Luffy would just bet on his Haki then. It would just be his Haki. I think it would be a pretty even match if it's like Haki against Haki.
Yeah, I feel like at that
Right?
point, yeah, it would probably just be Haki then, you're right.
Because then I'm going to say Luffy would actually beat Blackbeard if it's a Haki battle.
They haven't shown Blackbeard's Haki.
Blackbeard's Haki,
at
but
his
I'm
level.
gonna assume that he wouldn't beat Kaido. Power scaling wise. Luffy defeated one of the strongest 1v1, bet on Kaido. He defeated Kaido, and Kaido was the one who said, Haki rules over everything.
But I wouldn't say it was like 1v1 though, because there was still like the Akazaya, Yamato, like there was a lot of people that were the Minks, like there were a lot of people helping Luffy defeat Kaido. That's why I say like it's not really directly a 1v1. Like those damage that Yamato or the Akazaya did, like those counted as something, right? Like you don't want to believe that it did 0 damage, right?
Sure, I guess it did something. It's just Kaido plays it off like it's nothing. Like he doesn't even bother dodging them.
Yeah.
Because there's actually nothing else to like base it off of anymore if he negates the Devil Fruit. So it would be hand-to-hand combat at that point. And then all they have is Haki. An interesting thing is they say Haki overpowers Devil Fruit powers. So how does that work in that sense? If his Devil Fruit negates Devil Fruit powers, but then if you have Haki, can you negate his Devil Fruit power? So then you regain back your Devil Fruit power? You know what I mean?
Yeah. True. There's too many questions around his, but I kind of want to imagine that if Luffy was fighting him, Gear 5 Luffy would be able to do some kind of like goofy animation on Blackbeard.
True.
Which would like...
It would affect him.
Would maybe make his power not as useful as it's been shown so far.
Yeah. Because it seems like whatever attacks is done to Luffy in Gear 5, he kind of just like makes it goofy somehow. Like it doesn't really bother him.
Yeah.
But for Blackbeard's power to cancel out the fun, basically no fun. Blackbeard's power just makes Luffy not be free.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that would work.
And the thing is, he would have to also be able to catch Luffy first in
But he has,
order
like,
to
has, like,
cancel.
gravity thing. He'll pull him towards him.
Yeah,
Isn't that the thing? He pulls you with the darkness and then he grabs you.
that is true.
That's what he did with Boa.
That's true. But Luffy can fly in
If
Gear
he can
5.
Fly, that's true. Can he fly away from that? Yeah,
He can fly away from that, or like I feel like he could do some like goofy animation to like get away from it.
Yeah,
That's how
true.
I want to imagine. Like, you know, in like Looney Tunes animations and things like that, it's like it's not, you know, it's not possible,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then the animation makes it like possible. So I want to see, I want to believe something like that could happen.
If Blackbeard grabs Luffy one time, as long as Luffy breaks out and notices that and realizes his battle IQ that he can't let Blackbeard touch him, he still has his Rio, which he doesn't need to touch him to fight Blackbeard.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they haven't shown Blackbeard's Haki or Rio or
Yeah.
that, so Luffy still has like an edge on that.
Exactly, that's true. And then Blackbeard has not gone to Wano either.
Yeah, and every
So
time
would he know about the Rio method? We don't know.
probably doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Kid somehow was able to do Wano without Rio, which is insane. Rui asks, we know now that the opening Wano would release one of the ancient weapons. Why did Oden, before dying, wanted so bad to open Wano? What did he learn abroad from the world that made him wish to do that?
Isn't it that Joy Boy would come and utilize those ancient weapons? Because only Joy Boy should be able to find the ancient weapon again, because that's where the poneglyphs are written. It's written in the poneglyphs, right?
Yes, Alabasta. For
Yeah,
Pluton.
for Pluton.
Yes.
So somebody that's trusted would have to read the poneglyph, since in Alabasta, that poneglyph is guarded. So someone that is trusted by the Alabasta Kingdom would then read the poneglyph, and then they would know to go to search it for that weapon in Wano. I feel like it's just in preparations for the war that Joy Boy is going to bring.
So the message or the letter at Laugh Tale kind of told Oden that he needs to open Wano so he could get ready for what's about to come. That kind of.
Yeah, basically, get ready for me, I'm coming.
Yeah, I think
So I think in Laugh Tale, it's like kind of telling them, hey, I'm coming, like at Joy Boy, I'm coming. But they don't know who that is. They just have to be prepared for when it's gonna come.
Yeah.
Shun asks, I would like you to name 3 favorite characters in Wano.
3
Oh my
favorite characters.
god, that's so hard when
All
there
right.
are so many cool ones.
Number 1, Otama.
Yeah.
Denjiro's pretty sick.
Like,
Denjiro, I'm gonna put Denjiro in.
Beast Pirate.
Favorite 3 characters.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is terrible. And you put it like
hard.
that sense.
That's why I said it was hard. I was like, whoa, you ran Otama number 1? Like, that's
Just-
crazy.
Just fun.
I don't know.
I'm put Kaido up there.
Yeah, like,
I'll put Kaido up
did
there.
we have to use Kaido for one?
Sure.
Like, we have to use Kaido for one. Okay, Kaido for me. I think 1. Actually, no, not in any particular order though, because this is so hard.
Okay.
Okay, for me, Kaido, Denjiro.
This is a rough one. There's only 3.
Okay, let's not count Kaido though.
Okay, kick Kaido
Because he's
off.
like the main villain
Sure,
of this
fine.
arc. Obviously,
Fine.
we would like him, right?
Okay,
So, not
Okay,
him.
That kind of okay, sure. Then we shove Denjiro and Oden, maybe Yamato and Otama.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Okay, for me, if it's not Kaido, then it's gonna be Denjiro, Yamato, and Oden.
Miguel asks, do you think Buggy and Cross Guild would clash with other emperors? What do you think their role will be?
The class?
Will they fight?
I don't think they would, because now they are targeting the Marines.
True.
So why would they clash? If anything, they would like work together.
Oh,
Right?
work together. Maybe.
Because I could see the Blackbeard wanting money and then just getting rid of some Marines real quick for those bounties on them.
Oh, so you think Blackbeard wouldn't really target them because he would make money from them?
Yeah, right?
Basically, all the pirates benefit from the Cross Guild. As long as they don't attack the Cross Guild, I don't think Cross Guild will go for them.
Yeah.
Right? Is that safe to say? Isn't the whole point just to, like, for protection purposes?
Mm-hmm. I feel like they wouldn't. Okay, what do you think their role will be, Cross Guild?
Maybe it's like what you said.
In plot-wise.
It's to alliance the pirates.
Oh, it's to start alliancing the pirates together?
Preparation for the war.
For the war against the government?
Yeah, could it be something like that?
Do you think all the pirates would just start fighting the government then?
But they're all
Just
common.
because?
If we say common interests,
That's true.
we will have to team up with Blackbeard.
That's true.
Because
That's true.
they're after him too.
In a way, technically, Cross Guild is already declaring war against the government. It's just not like a direct thing. They're not saying like, we are fighting you right now, but they are because they're targeting their military force, right? They're trying to take down their navy, which is basically war. They're basically fighting.
Yeah,
So-
they're actively trying to like hunt them down now. So I would say so.
And then also because the One Piece verse, I feel like has been created to be so big and so many different kind of people being involved. When we think of this final war, I think it's so far I've always just kind of imagined it's like one party versus another party. That's going to be the war. But then because the world is so big, it would kind of make more sense if there's a bunch of different parties involved in the war, fighting for different reasons or fighting different people for different reasons.
True.
So it wouldn't just be one party versus another party fighting those together. So it wouldn't just be like Luffy Alliance versus government. Like it would be a bunch of different people. Like Revolutionary Army is one of them. Cross Guild could be one of them. Luffy could be one of them. Navy could be
So
one
it'd
of
be
them.
Revolutionary Army plus pirates.
Yes, but not all the pirates and not all the Navy
pirates?
could be aligned. They might not be aligned necessarily. Like even within Navy, there's different factions like Sword.
If the war is basically gonna be a giant world war, then basically.
Yeah.
Because then the 20 countries, the whole world government, all the alliance countries, plus the Navy will fight whoever's challenging them.
Yeah, exactly. But also we have to consider the relationships might not be as simple as like one side versus another side. Because, for example, one country could have a lot of different affiliations. For example,
True.
Fishman Island is affiliated with the government, but at the same time they're also
That's
affiliated
true.
with Luffy, right? So it gets a lot more messy, I think.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as simple as just one country versus another. It's going to be like really hectic.
That does sound real hectic because
Yeah.
at that point you're choosing sides. And if
Yeah.
you chose the losing side, then
Yeah.
you're done.
And you don't necessarily have to disclose who you're going to be with either. Right? For Fishman Island, they're not going to say, no, like, I'm going to be with Luffy. Like, they could go undercover and be with the
True.
government, but then actually be with Luffy. You know, there's,
And
like,
leak
a lot
info.
more
Yeah.
complications.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be it.
Next question, Meliodas-sama asks, do you feel there is more for Luffy beyond Gear 5 and more to Joy Boy?
Yes.
Gear 6. Here
Gear
we go.
6. Let's go. He's gonna affect
Six,
us.
here we go.
Well, he's already doing
yeah.
that. He's already doing that in Gear 5 already. So I don't know. They
Joy Boy
could.
comes to life.
Yeah, I feel like there's it's at its most freest form though. I don't know. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they made a Gear 6, but basically Gear 5 is like the embodiment of everything.
That's true. So what you're saying is that this is not actually his freest form because he is constrained by being in the anime.
Yeah.
So he has to now break the fourth wall in order to achieve Gear 6.
Yes. It's something crazy.
No. It's hard to imagine at this point what kind of fight is coming next that would push him to Gear 6, I think.
True.
Because Yonko was like the hardest fight in my head, right? So what else would push him to that point? Because the only way he will achieve a new gear or a new power up is if he fights another opponent that pushes him to that point. In that sense, we would basically be saying that next opponent is going to be stronger than Kaido, which is hard to name another person
True, yeah.
that would be that person for him.
Could be Shanks.
Yeah, only thing I can think of.
Shanks betrays Luffy and awakens. His awakened fruit.
Yeah. But beyond Gear 5 and like the whole Joy Boy, I think because of his fruit now, we know what it's supposed to mean. It's like freeing the slaves and bringing freedom to everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So I think there is still more beyond Gear 5 then, because there's still a lot more people he needs to free, right? Wouldn't his true form be like liberating everybody? He's only liberated like selected people so far.
But isn't his Gear 5 his liberating form?
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying because of what the character is supposed to stand for, the fruit.
Mm-hmm. Someone else asked, how does it feel to not know where we are heading next? We have been on track to Wano since Punk Hazard. Now we head towards the unknown.
Finishing that last episode in Wano made me feel so empty.
But we're leaving, right?
Yeah. And never before did I feel that in any other arcs, because it always felt like we had somewhere we were going next, or like somewhere we were headed to next. It's like it was sad to say goodbye, but at the same time, it was okay. We knew a new adventure was coming. But for Wano, it just felt so sad, like not knowing anything. It felt like there was nothing to fill in the hole that was just created.
Yeah, maybe it's because they didn't mention anything, or because they mentioned Wano so far ahead that it's kind of like something you've been expecting. So when it's finally done, you're like, oh, what's next?
Yeah. It felt like something wrapped up from so long ago.
Yeah.
So then it was like trying to then find what other strings are left for us to hold on to, right? Because I feel like in Wano, a lot of things concluded.
One Piece is coming to an end.
Yeah, which made it feel like that. Yeah. Like One Piece is coming to an end. We're starting to get all the answers. We're starting to feel like things are concluding.
That was just a glimpse of what we were all gonna feel eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Cindy asks, which characters do you find most entertaining when it comes to voice acting? I really like Buggy and Luffy's. Who makes the titles and thumbnails for the videos? And One Piece characters are ridiculous, but which one suits your personality? To me, Jackie is Shaka, and Devi is similar to Robin. I would be Luffy for eating it.
Both of us work on the titles and thumbnails. It's just we just take turns. And for the most entertaining voice acting, honestly, Buggy's voice.
I'm gonna say Buggy.
It's so distinct. Yeah.
Buggy's voice is very fun. I miss Luffy's singing voice. That was pretty.
That
was pretty funny too.
Yeah. Specifically for Wano, honestly, Orochi's voice actor fucking killed it. Oh my god. He was so good.
Yeah, Orochi's
like Orochi,
actor.
the character, is a piece of shit, but the voice actor did it so well. And honestly, at times, you're just wondering, like, how has he been making those rat noises?
Yeah, like the sounds after he finished talking or while he's talking is like, damn. I'm actually impressed how they're able to do that.
Yeah. The voice actor made Orochi's character more entertaining, I guess. Otherwise, it would have just been like complete rage, but it's like the voice actor was so good that you could appreciate at least the voice acting skills for the character.
Exactly.
My Radiant says, I have 2 questions. Do you think Emperor Kaido lived up to his hype? Who do you think is the stronger between Zoro and Yamato?
Damn, okay. I guess Kaido did live up to his hype. Yeah. I think I don't like the way how he went. Felt very abrupt.
Like how the fight concluded?
Yeah.
Okay.
How the fight concluded.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Zoro just seems like Zoro had training, whereas Yamato kind of had to just fend for herself. So
that's true.
Yamato's Kaido's kid, so obviously strong, but I don't know if the training's there.
That's true. So you're saying physical wise, maybe Yamato would win just because she got those Kaido genes
in there.
But then skills wise, probably Zoro, he has training directly from Mihawk.
Yeah, and he has like Conqueror's Haki, right? But then Yamato should have Conqueror's. So. Yeah.
For me, I think Kaido lived up to his hype. I'm more focused on like how much I like him rather than like his power displays though. Because I was not expecting like that kind of personality from him. So I did really like him a lot. So I think likability, he did live up to the hype. For the fight, I think again because I'm not sure if it was the pacing or what, but a lot of the clashing between him and Luffy started to feel a little bit repetitive at some point because it was just fighting, getting back up, fighting, getting back up,
just punching
right?
each other.
So I wish there was a little bit more variety on that fight, or just if it concluded a little bit faster. But again, that might have just been like a pacing issue. So I think he lived up to the hype in my books.
Yeah, I love the drunken Kaido. That was my
Yes,
favorite.
drunken Kaido, or like jammies Kaido, where he like pulls up his jammies with Big Mom. I love that.
Triss asks, what annoyed you the most about Wano? Characters, plot lines, pacing.
Orochi.
Orochi. That's true. Orochi and Ice Oni. I would say those were pretty annoying. And then the Luffy and Kaido pacing with like back and forth punching throughout the episode.
I think definitely pacing will be one of them. Inconsistencies with like how people go. Right? Because like for example with Kanjuro, he was like supposed to be dead like 3 times, but then somehow he just keeps coming back. Versus with Izo, it's just like they're just gone.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of inconsistencies there where it made me feel like, wait, what? How is this person dead and that person isn't? Right?
True.
So that honestly kind of bugged me. Is how Big Mom and Kaido went. It just didn't feel like conclusive to me. They are shown to be falling into the lava, but at the same time, because there has been so many instances where people that should be dead are not dead, it makes me keep wondering, hey, are those 2 actually gone now or not? I think because they always don't really show the deaths, it would have been nice just to conclude it one way or the other.
Like officially?
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Big Mom's fight. I think Big Mom's fight with Law and Kid was kind of like iffy. I felt like Big Mom could have did more damage. Like it just made it seem like she was just goofing around or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because like they needed to get rid of Big Mom or defeat her somehow for the new generation, but the way she went was kind of what? Like no way she lost like that. Well, at the end, I was kind of rooting for Big Mom because I'm like, what is happening here? Like, you know, you gotta like put up a good fight with them.
That's true. I think Big Mom character is a little bit unfortunate because in Whole Cake Island, she was hyped up so much because she's a Yonko and everything.
Yeah,
but then in Cake Island, she didn't get to showcase her power that much, I would say, because there was just a lot of chasing. So it's like, okay, I thought maybe in Wano finally, like her and Kaido together, they're gonna fucking show us. But it didn't feel like that.
True.
So I don't know, maybe it's because of how highly hyped up these characters were that we had like crazy expectations for them, but the way they went out just did not match like the same feeling that I would have wanted.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they would have done it.
Like if they met the Yonkos early on and got our asses whooped early on, then it would be like, okay, yeah, they're like they mean serious business. But it's because like they didn't really have time to pop off. So then when they did pop off, we're like, damn, we're pretty even with them now. Like, kind of like took away from the fight, you know, because we're afraid of them. We're like standing equal grounds. I was kind of still surprised that Law and Kid beat Big Mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Same. But they said, I can't wait to see the upcoming episodes. Banger after banger awaits you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Lisa Graham says, I am happy you enjoyed Wano. One of the biggest, if not the biggest plot point was Luffy being the sun. How did you feel about that pretty late introduction? And did you believe it was planned since or a Wano creation?
I feel like it was planned since the beginning because there are a lot of references to like sun and even being a god, because I remember when we were watching in Skypia him fighting Eneru, we were kind of memeing and saying, oh my god, Eneru thinks he's a god, he just got defeated by Luffy, so Luffy is a god, right? So I feel like it was kind of
it's well done.
Foreshadowing it,
the way they did it.
But, and then the Thousand Sunny and things like that is like a lot of sun resemblance and like mentions of like the dawn and everything like that. So I feel like it matches.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Oda like had a general like idea. And he's not just like building on top of it as he goes. That's pretty cool.
And also you highlight that crazy idea where it's like, oh, the sun gives you vitamin D, so it has to do with the D kingdom, right? So I feel like it's been since the beginning.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's actually a thing though.
It would be pretty funny though. Last question. Uchiha Sasuke says, please take more breaks, guys. Take care of yourself.
Well, after we're caught up, we'll only be watching once a week, so.
For One Piece, that is.
Okay, we are moving on to some YouTube questions now to finish off.
Hecton asks, who is stronger, King or Katakuri?
Oh man, straight to the power scaling
Yeah.
questions. I feel like there's nothing to base this off. It would just be based on who you like more, right?
How would you even base this? Like, logically, can you?
I want to say Katakuri because he has like a future sight. So he would be able to see when King is about to not use his flame
That's
thing
true.
anymore and then in turn attack.
He should be able to figure it out. His observation's pretty good.
Yeah. I want to say I would say Katakuri.
Okay, I'm gonna go Katakuri too, just because it's proven he has future sight.
Yeah.
And Zoro beat King knowing King's weakness.
Yeah.
Like he figured it out.
Yeah. Ijazaya Sir 9290 says, do you think that there is a condition that Devil Fruit users can't go to Laugh Tale? Both Rogers and Shanks' crew have no Devil Fruit users. Maybe Shanks knows about it and only recruits those who don't have a fruit. And also, do you think that we will fight the government first, then go to Laugh Tale, or vice versa?
That is a good question.
So there's a condition?
I think
no
logically there can't be a condition, because how would they do that? It would be in the verse. So sea prism all across the ground that you step on, you'll only at most be weakened. Like, I don't see anything that would prevent you. This would be something entirely new.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
If we're talking about like the world of One Piece.
Mm-hmm. But do you think it's a coincidence that
Rogers
Roger
and
Shanks' crews has no Devil Fruit users?
I just saw Shanks mirroring Roger. He told Whitebeard where One Piece was, but then Whitebeard was just not interested. Why would he tell him if he couldn't go?
True.
Right?
I want to say no, but only solely because Luffy has a fruit, so I'm like, that's fucked up that we,
so
the Straw
dirty.
Hats, are not gonna go to Laugh Tale, right?
That would be so dirty.
Right?
Like, he planted it so then Luffy has the fruit and then paves the way to get to One Piece, and then Shanks just, nah, you can't.
Yeah, like solely because of that reason, I'm like, no, we have to be allowed there, right? Like, what was the point of everything?
Yeah.
Over 1,000 episodes, over 20 years of viewers watching this show, and you guys are not gonna go to Laugh Tale because you are a Straw Hat.
That sounds absurd.
And we have Devil Fruit users. Like, I think not. And just because you also mentioned, like, how would they filter
The
that
condition.
out,
Like,
right?
yeah, I think that's the problem.
Even if, for example, the whole island was made of the same material as, like, the sea prism stone, right? It's not like the Devil Fruit user wouldn't be allowed to go there still. They would still be able to. They would just be in, like, a weakened state or whatever it is. So
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, how would that even, like, be possible? I think one thing, the condition for the Devil Fruit users not being able to go after, the only time I would see that as possible is if you would have to dive underwater, swim there. You can't do a boat. It's like a cave under the water. So then, if you're a Devil Fruit user, you can't swim, so you can't make it into the cave or whatever. That's the only thing I can think logically for the condition to be met. Like, you have to dive underwater for a certain period of time, so you'd be a good swimmer, in order to surface into where this Laugh Tale One Piece treasure is, which then they're screwed.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's shown when Roger and them went. They
is a
did
beach,
not
no?
dive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right? So
I don't think it would make sense.
yeah. Do you think there's a reason though that they don't have Devil Fruit? It makes me wonder now why.
Like, why not?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it, but
Okay, could it be that Roger and Shanks want to be free? Rogers never wanted to be king of the pirates. They just gave that name upon himself. If he has a Devil Fruit, then he's not free. He can't swim.
true.
His character, like, for Luffy to have the Gum Gum Fruit, he's technically not free to go swimming. But it just happens that his Gear 5 is the most freest of his form.
True. So you're saying it's one additional constraint that they would not want on themselves.
Yeah, like you get powers, that's cool,
true.
but there is a constraint on you. So,
Like if you're already confident enough in your own abilities, then you wouldn't really seek out devil fruit to add to yourself. Add power to yourself because you're already confident in yourself.
I think before they introduced Haki, devil fruit seemed like, in Logia type, seemed like the most OP thing. Like, why wouldn't you want something like that? But the shows like Roger and Shanks being so strong without it.
Yeah. It could honestly just be because their haki is so strong and they're so confident in their own haki that they don't really need to rely on devil fruits. Because I'm just imagining like Blackbeard went out solely to look for the devil fruit because he did not have confidence in himself, right? He need to rely on something else. But for someone like Roger and Shanks, I imagine, who are so strong and well versed in haki, it's kind of hard to imagine that they would need to seek out more power.
Right?
They should already have the confidence, right?
Exactly.
That's true.
And I also think like Joy Boy's letter being at Laugh Tale. How did the man get there then? He had the Gum Gum fruit. He had the sun god Nika.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would also work either.
Yeah, exactly.
The condition was Delfruit users can't go there.
Yeah.
Then it's like, how did they leave the message?
That's true, because Joy Boy had to have Nika, sun god Nika too. That's true.
You know, I just had a funny idea.
What
if the fight against the government and the world government and Emu and everything goes first, and the war was so destructive, they destroy Laugh Tale, and we just don't get One Piece.
We don't even get the One Piece.
That'll be the conclusion. We'll never know.
We'll never know. Okay, that would be fucked, but like
it's a world war, right? Like we're gonna have like crazy shit happening. Like what if that is the case? That could depends on how Oda wants to do it, but like
that is true. Okay, for that reason, I want to say that we will go to Laugh Tale before we fight the government.
Find the truth and then we fight them.
Because I think there has to be a reason for the Straw Hats to even fight. Right now, there's no motivations, in my opinion, for the Straw Hats to challenge the world government. They would need some kind of reason. And usually it's because Luffy makes a friend or feels strongly about someone and wants to help them, that he ends up taking on all these like challenges, right? So without Laugh Tale, I don't really see him just taking on the government for no apparent
like getting
reason,
the information
really.
To kind of fight the world government. I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah, like giving him the motivation and the desire to help. Because right now there shouldn't be any reason for him to fight them.
Ichiru Key Better asks, what do you think about Kaido and Big Mom's death? Do you guys think that they really died? What do you think about Yamato choosing to stay in Wano and not joining the crew?
I don't think they're dead. But that's just me, because this whole time we've been watching the show, it's just really hard to believe anybody ever dies unless the show explicitly says they're dead. But just showing them kind of falling into lava, for me, doesn't really 100% confirm the death. And considering they're both like Yonko.
Yeah, lava's gonna hurt them.
They're gonna die just by falling into the pit of lava. Doesn't really sound like it would happen.
I think about like how Oda always likes to kill characters off and then bring them back. It would be super hype if Big Mom and Kaido pulls up together. Like Luffy and Buggy still be Yonko. Like the old Yonko will come back and it'll just be like, they're just doing their own thing. That'd be crazy hype.
Yeah, and also weren't we talking about it after we watched the episode? I think we're saying Big Mom could technically use her Delphi power on the lava.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you turn the lava into like a homie or like anything that was surrounding her. Like the debris could have became homies.
Yeah. I think that's a possibility too.
So I want to say no, and then. For Kaido, I don't know, like his haki is so strong.
He's the strongest.
I don't believe that he would just fall into a lava pit and like that's it.
The man bathes in lava.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't he using that like fire dragon thing at the end? Like that must be hot. Like
yeah.
Right?
Like could a dragon Maybe they're also the dragon scales can withstand a certain amount of heat. So like when he falls into the lava, it just feels like he's swimming in like a warm hot tub or something like that.
It could be something like that.
Right?
Yeah, they could bring them back.
Aren't like dragon scales usually are supposed to be portrayed as like really hard and like can withstand a lot of things, right?
They breathe fire, so I don't know.
So if your organs inside can already withstand fire, there's no way like outside you wouldn't be able to withstand it as well, right?
I guess so. I honestly don't believe that they're dead.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll bring them back at some point. Another thing, Big Mom's like homies, like Whole Cake Island, like what happened? Like all the life force that she does, like if she's dead, are they their own entity? They gotta survive? Yeah. Like Zeus is alive.
Yeah, right?
Right? I'm kind of like, they never really like brushed up on that.
Yeah, I think that was a question we had during Whole Cake Island, and it's not really clear even now because we don't even know if she's
what
technically
happened, right?
dead, right? Yeah.
If Nami still had the Beaver card, that would indicate if she's alive, but we don't have that either.
That's true. I think I like it this way too, because then it's up to
Oda.
Yeah, I like it this way because it's up to the author which direction they want to take. Oda's kind of leaving opportunities for himself to later do something else with it if he desires. So they could be dead or they could just come back later.
True.
Like the potential is there.
Exactly. Like when we defeat the world government and Emu, we're gonna have a world banquet. Big Mom and Kaido are invited.
Yeah.
What do you think about Yamato choosing to stay?
I like that she stayed, honestly, because they need the extra help. Honestly, it makes sense.
I think so.
She's the strongest one in Wano. Like, if she left, nobody would be able to protect Wano.
Yeah, I don't trust Momonosuke that much as of now.
He just has the looks for it, right? Because he's the dragon. But if someone actually came and attacked, there's no way they would have been able to defend anything.
Yeah, they definitely need someone strong there too.
Yeah.
Stokelando asks, do you think there's any missed opportunities in terms of storytelling in Wano arc? Is there something you prefer to have happened instead?
Okay, well, one obviously is going to be more development on Zoro's backstory, which we've already talked about.
Yeah.
But I think another thing that would have been nice would be more developments on Kaido and Big Mom's relationship in the Rocks Pirates. Because they kind of already hinted the whole like Rocks Pirates and that they had a relationship. But we only got like very small glimpse of like their encounters. Yeah. So I would have liked a little bit more about Rocks Pirates, but again, I don't know if Oda's like cooking something for later regarding the Rocks Pirates. That's why he's saving it. I personally would have really liked to see more about Rocks Pirates here,
or more development of Kaido and Big Mom's relationship. Because if they showed us like it meant more, then it's like I feel even more like sad that Kaido or Big Mom like lost each other, because Kaido was like freaking out for a bit. He was like, oh no, Lin is gone.
Oh yeah,
right. So I wanted like more like context,
or more context on why their relationship is so close and not at the same time, right? It's kind of a bit of a complicated relationship that they have. It's like they have respect and care, but at the same time not. So it's like, which is it? Would it be nice to see more development there? I think more thoughts in general from Kaido on his relationship with Yamato was very confusing for me, at least. Like, some parts it was kind of hard to tell if he like genuinely cared about Yamato or not. What was he thinking? Because during the backstory, we got to see a lot of things from Yamato's perspective and like how their relationship was. But a lot of things that Kaido was doing for me didn't really make sense. So I would have liked to see what he was thinking and like why he was doing the things he was during that flashback.
Because it seems like he doesn't really care, but at the same time he was drunk and crying that his own kid didn't care about him or whatever, listen to him.
Yeah, right?
I think it was just his parenting style, but they didn't really like elaborate on that. So they made it seem like Kaido was just like straight up a villain. I wanted him to kind of like show that he cared. But he did care enough to cry, so.
Yeah, but I think that's why it was kind of confusing because his actions were kind of like conflicting a little bit at times.
Shaki Yusuf asks, which fight do you like the most? Sanji versus Queen or Zoro versus King?
Damn, Sanji versus Zoro again. trying to start
the
some
beef.
beef in the comments.
Start the beef.
Who's yours? I'm actually curious.
Like, I like the Zoro and King sword fight. That was pretty sick. But like, Sanji popped off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I actually think I enjoyed Sanji versus Queen more.
Yeah, he had that robot moment, and he had some development, and he got the blue flames.
Yeah, the blue flame was like so high.
That was pretty cool.
I think also because Sanji gets so little moments that when he does get a moment, it's like such a huge highlight, right? Because Zoro, honestly, he gets like so many moments already. Like even when he deflected Kaido's attack, like that was fucking crazy.
It was Zoro's arc though.
Yeah.
It was basically Zoro's arc.
Right? But like in general too though.
True.
Usually it's more a highlight on Zoro's fights and Zoro's achievements, so Sanji doesn't really get that many moments. So I think him getting that moment here was a little bit unexpected because, like you said, it's Zoro's arc, right? So that surprise factor.
I would say probably Sanji's just a bit more than Zoro's.
Yeah, they were pretty equal, but in this case, just a little bit more Sanji, because he doesn't really get moments. Manoj says, "What's your opinion on Buggy becoming a Yonko?"
All right, I love it. I'm all for it. Buggy becoming Yonko.
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, it's so unexpected.
Yeah,
like I love it. I don't know what to say.
I think it fits his character. Everything. Like the struggles he experienced in his life, it was just all luck. He kind of just winged everything. He didn't really plan anything. It's kind of the world just sort of favors Buggy. Maybe he has Buggy the Clown for a reason.
Malik asks, which member of the Akazaya 9 was your favorite?
Which member?
For me, it has to be Denjiro.
I'm gonna have to go with Denjiro.
He was so cool, that reveal.
He pulled off something insane.
And his planning.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he was MVP for like the planning and the strategies and everything too.
Yeah.
So.
And his character, like, entire face and hair color changing too. That was insane.
I remember that being like a core memory for Wano for me.
Yeah.
Okay, that is all we're going to be able to cover for the Wano arc. Thank you everybody that submitted a question. We're really sorry if we couldn't get to yours. There was just too many, but hopefully in the next arc you can ask another question and maybe we will get to yours. So...
thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button below. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye!
Peace!